We're going to be getting out to the action in just a second, but before we do that, I just wanted to let you know really what we're looking to do here at Ashland Technologies. Our vision is to become the first international chain of machine shops with identical operations throughout the world so that we can standardize our operations and be able to serve our customers even better and all throughout the world. But before we get out on the floor, I really want to show you how this whole thing got started. My father and our other partner, Mark Mensch, developed this product here for the Dodge Ram diesel pickup trucks. My father owns a company up in Ashland called Ashland Diesel Engines. They're one of the largest independent diesel dealers all throughout Pennsylvania. They do Cummins Caterpillar, International, Freightliner, and so many other neat things. My dad's a prolific inventor and comes up with sometimes some weird things, but this one was right on the mark. What this basically does is it capitalizes on an engineering flaw for the Dodge Ram diesel pickup trucks. It's very, very difficult for them to get in and change their fuel filter, which this relocates, this is where it is up in the engine. But they had to dig up underneath the ABS brakes, underneath the intake manifold, very difficult to get in. It took somebody 2 hours just to change their filter. With this, they're actually able to change it in 2 minutes or less, and their bus Sunday close right alongside the road if necessary. And we also built into it a fuel restriction indicator, which allowed them to be able to see when to change the fuel filter. Now this is really prevalent on the 94 through 96 year trucks, and over time it basically began to be phased out of the operation. So in 1998 we were really faced with a difficult challenge, which was how do we branch this out? At that time, surprisingly enough, we were right here. This is our shop back in 1998 before we really got this thing started. As you're going to see today, there's not one of these machines that exists on our floor. Everything on the floor is brand new equipment, all Haas equipment, beautiful. But we had to start somewhere. So we basically started with this six spindle drill that we got out of a junkyard, had it refurbished. We set up in a small corner of my dad's operation at Ashland Diesel Engines, and this is how we basically got started with Prime-Loc. And very much like Tommy Boy, I loaded up the car full of product and drove out to California and hit as many dealers as I could on the way out. Right now we have 206 distributors for this product, and surprisingly enough, they've changed the design now in the unit, and we're going back to this unit. It's becoming much more popular on the new brands. But you'll see this when you go to a truck show or something like that. You'll see this set up on every vehicle in the parking lot. It's absolutely amazing. Now here's some of the other products that we make that you're really not going to have an opportunity to see out on the floor. What you're going to see on the floor is going to be a heck of a lot bigger than what you're seeing in here right now. But this gives you a good opportunity to see some of the different things that we do. This one here is actually an outgrowth of what you saw here on the Prime-Loc system, and it's a dual filter system for Prime-Loc that they use in Iraq on the generator systems, so they can take from one filter to another without actually having to turn off the generator. So it makes it much, much more efficient for them for that. And that's distributed through Cummins Power Systems in Harrisburg and Ashland Diesel as well. And then moving up this side of the table, you'll see a few different other things that are kind of interesting here. This is a connecting rod actually for a little sprint car, Tobias racing cars, and they're called Speedway, and basically that's one of the connecting rods. We also make some other engine components for them. And then some of these neat doohickeys here are actually from the glass blowing industry, if you can believe that, diversification from roller coasters to glass blowing. But this would be a glass masher. This would be something that they would be able to hold a glass with and then rotate in their hands, some of the stands and things like that. This part back here is an auger for a French fry vending machine, believe it or not, that Coca-Cola was trying to develop. And, you know, I'm sure everyone notices this. I know I've got a few cavities myself, but this would be the blue light that you would use when you get your teeth filled. So all the way from roller coasters to fuel filter systems to glass equipment, all the way up into dental equipment as well. We're very precise with everything that we do, so there's really very few things that we can do. So we're going to start the tour right now as promised, and we're actually going to go to our design engineering area, and you're going to see some things back there that are going to blow your mind. These guys work on brand new concepts, so when people have an idea that they're not sure, you know, how do I get this thing off the ground? I really don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know how to develop this. We step in and we assist them with that process, and you're going to be able to see some really neat things. In fact, today we're going to be testing 2 brand new products that have never been tested before. All right, now we're back here in our design engineering department. And what we do back here is basically we have a different setup here. We do 3 unique things. One is we do all brand new jobs back here. It's a controlled environment. It's a little slower pace. Basically, we have dedicated equipment whose primary job is to be available for a brand new job. So the first responsibility of the design engineering department is to do all brand new jobs. Before we had this department, it would actually take us anywhere from 5 to 6 weeks to turn around a customer's order. Now we can turn around most orders in about 2 to 3, maybe 5 or 6 days. So we went from weeks to days. It's absolutely amazing what we can do back here. Now, the other thing that they'll do is they'll work on design reviews for customers. So they'll take a part that may have been, designed without manufacturing in mind, and we'll be able to figure out a way to get the part redesigned so we can maintain or improve the performance of the component without actually increasing the cost. In fact, our goal is to reduce that cost. In some cases, we've been able to reduce cost by 50, 60, 80% just by a simple redesign. So just using common sense to figure out the way they do it. Now, the third thing they do back here in design engineering is probably the most exciting part of what we do. And what we'll do is work with brand new companies, brand new concepts on neat and innovative forward-looking ideas. The first one you're going to see today is called Swing Pack. We worked with Good Shepherd Rehabilitation down in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and they identified the need for people in wheelchairs to be able to access their backpacks a little more easily. So instead of trying to reach around behind their back and having a difficult time getting out their laptop or their medicines and things like that, they basically will just hit this button, which is going to be mounted up here on their arm, and this will spin around and provide them immediate and easy access to the items in their bag. We've developed this where we have a quick release system in it, so if the battery runs dead, you can just release it and put it back into the home position. And again, going back to common sense design, one of the things that we did is we equipped this with just a regular DeWalt, or whatever brand you want to use, but just a regular 12-volt battery. So if they're on vacation or out of the country, they can go to any hardware store and get a battery if their Swing Pack runs out of battery. And just slides right in. Now, this is actually universal, where you can move it from one side to the other, so it makes that a lot easier. You'll see here on the internal mechanisms, we actually developed this all ourselves. So this is all internally designed worm gears, slip clutches, proximity sensors. And it makes it, again, very robust, very easy for people to be able to get their items out of their bag. One of the people that we're really particularly interested in helping out are veterans. We have veterans coming back from overseas. They've given their lives and their bodies to our country, and we want to give them a more independent opportunity to live an independent life. So that's what we're really, when we're building this and we're working on this, those are the people we're really thinking about. Now what we're going to do next is actually go over here to Tim, and Tim is going to be, he's working on this unit over here, which is for the food industry. I'll tell you a real quick story about this before we actually do the test. Just in case the test doesn't work out so well and we get relish on ourselves, we should tell you this up front. This company that we're working with here is called Puka Dog. Okay, now Puka actually means whole in Hawaiian. So this guy developed a hot dog concept where basically you have a hole in the bun, and we grill the bun right on top of this unit here to basically core it out in the middle. What will happen then is they'll take it out, and then they're going to put relish in it, and they'll put the hot dog right in the end. So you actually don't get any slippage on you or anything like that. This grill here is actually called the Huli Huli grill, which, interesting enough, in Hawaii, when you're surfing, which I did once, and I thought the wave was bigger than it actually was, but I did surf, and when you get turned over by a wave, basically it's called you got hulied. So because we're turning these hot dogs over on this grill, it's called the Huli Huli grill. Believe it or not, we can actually turn out 2 hot dogs every 15 seconds, if you can actually imagine that. Now, this guy I mentioned, we met on my honeymoon. So we go into his hot dog stand, and he's got it all set up, very interesting. And I said, boy, you should really franchise this. He said, Bill, I would if I could just find someone who can make my grill. So boom, we made him the grill. So we said, all right, what's next? Let's get this thing in motion. He said, boy, you know what? If I could just have a relish machine that would pump relishes into my hot dogs. The unique thing about Puka Dog is they actually have 12 different relishes that would go into a hot dog bun. So what this press will do is it'll press the relish out in a very consistent manner. And like I had mentioned, you're going to be here for its very first test. And hopefully we'll be shipping this unit to Hawaii tomorrow, and I'll be following up with a visit over there shortly to see how it works. But if you want to give her a whirl, Tim, we'll see how it works here. And it appears that we have a very successful test for Puka Dog. Now, the next thing for Puka Dog is we're actually going to be working on a lemonade machine for them, which is top secret, so I can't tell you this time. But maybe next time we get together, we'll show you that as well.